I'm going to do this video and it's going to shock you. You know why? Because I bet you have no idea how powerful your belief systems are, and that your mind, everything you are saying and telling your body, thinking about your body, is actually creating the body that you have. Yes, the health that you have is very much dependent on the thoughts and beliefs that you have on a day-to-day basis. And it's not even directed at yourself. If you are thinking a lot of negative thoughts towards the outside world, to a lot of people, it is affecting you. I'm going to dive deep into this and explain. Okay, so I'm going to go back just a bit and explain Dr. Emoto. Now, if you've heard of him, still stick around, because I'm going to go into a lot of other people have done a lot of scientific research on held emotions and our body, and how our cells are listening to every single word we say. So Dr. Emoto, I started researching him back 25 years ago, and he is a Japanese scientist that took a microscope and looked up thousands upon thousands of times on a microscope to show that when you take a droplet of water through the microscope and he would say something negative, they would be distorted. The molecular structure of the water crystal would actually change into a distorted figure. He would say hate or anger or I pity you or ill or anything like that that was a negative word. The construct of the structure would change into negative, an ugly form, I should say. Then he would do the opposite, as he would say positive, loving words to the droplet of water. And it would change always into a beautiful shape of like a snowflake, but different shapes of snowflakes, each and every single time, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of times. Then he started to think, you know what, I'm going to start to think it instead of saying it and see what happens with the droplets of water. The exact same thing happened, is that when he would think it, the droplets of words would change, the droplets would change into beautiful snowflakes, or if he said hateful things, change as well into negative structures. What does this mean? This means that our body is made up of 70 to 78% water, and that our body responds to our thoughts and our belief systems and what we are verbally saying. Why? Because it is all frequency. Frequency has an energy to it, and it affects every single aspect of our life, especially our body. So that is one. Now we have also some doctors that I'm going to explain, and different things that I have researched over the years and that has completely blown my mind. So the next guy that I have researched he was a doctor back in the early 80s, is Dr. John Sarno. And I originally saw him on a TV program years and years ago. And he had been a medical doctor that was working with patients with back pain, and so would helping them work with their back pain. Here is the amazing thing with our body, you guys, is that not only do we have different organs that actually hold on to different emotions, but anything that has ever happened to us in our entire life, everything like on a negative level, on a traumatic level, our body remembers everything. We hold on to it on a cellular level. And so the feelings of hatred, anger, resentment, as I've done in my previous video, I talked about with Chinese medicine, which is, centuries old. We hold that in our liver. And so with other joint and back problems and neck problems, all of those things, those are all still held emotions in the body. And what Dr. John Sarno had discovered was that in our lower back, or back problems in general, it's usually held rage and anger. Same goes with neck. He noticed that with neck as well. And so he would have patients come in and say, I have bulging disc, and, it's degenerating disc, and I don't know what I'm going to do about it. And, all of these issues are starting to happen, and, my bones are starting to break down. And he would tell them, you have held rage. And people would be up in arms and feeling really angry and irritated about that because they're there to try to get some kind of pain relief for their back. And he's just telling them that they have held emotions. And so, as a lot of people would feel really angry with that. As you go into explaining that the body is such a miraculous machine, like literally this extraordinary computer that we will never, ever, ever finish learning and discovering new things, is that when we don't understand that with the body, is that a lot of the times it tries to protect us from feeling the emotions. And so what it does is that instead of feeling the pain, instead of feeling the emotions, it's giving us pain so that we don't have to feel it. So what Dr. John Sarno said, and you can try this at home because I am a prime example of something that has happened to me, and I have worked on this, and I'll share that in a second, is that when you have that lower back pain, you can say, thank you, body, for trying to protect me from these emotions. But I no longer need to have that pain. I'm okay to feel the emotions. Thank you for trying to protect me. I am now okay to feel the emotions. And within 3 days, people's pain has literally dissipated and gone away. And I know that sounds absolutely insane, but if I didn't have the exact same experience and had complete miraculous healing, I would have not believed it. After my son was born, I had gone through a big period of a lot of stressful events that were very personal and very hard to deal with. And I am a very optimistic person. And so a lot of things I try to just work through them up here, not through here, because we can only do so much mental work, but we really have to get into the body to help to release a lot of the issues. And I wasn't doing that. And so I was standing working one day, and I was talking to a bunch of clients, and I had my purse on the floor, and my back all of a sudden seized up so bad that I couldn't even bend over to pick up my purse. Now, I'm somebody that has never experienced back pain in my life, not even when I was carrying a practically 9-pound baby and 41 weeks pregnant. I had no back pain, nothing. And I was working out, nothing. And a year after he was born, I was just standing there in like a store talking to somebody, and the pain was so bad. And I'm like, what is going on? It came out of the blue. And I got home that night and I was just like thinking about things. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, I don't feel angry. I don't feel any of this. And then I started thinking about what Dr. John Sarno had said. And I had read his book like literally 20 some years ago, but it had resurfaced in my life, which obviously there is no such thing as coincidences. A lot of things come up so that it's brought to our attention so that we can actually fix or do something. And so I realized, okay, well, maybe I do. So I started saying that every night. And so for 3 nights in a row, I did it. On the 3rd night, my back pain completely went away. And I have never had it again. Never. I mean, if you guys think this is crazy, all you have to do is try it. Like, there's no harm in just trying this method out, whether it's neck pain, whether it's back pain. I mean, the amount of held rage that I did have and I didn't even realize that was in there. And once I told my body it was safe to start to feel the emotions, then the emotions started to come up, and I realized things that I had held inside of me for a long time, that I just swallowed these emotions and just thought that they would go away and I would move on in my life. It doesn't work that way. That's why I try to explain to people that end up getting different illnesses in life. If they eat the healthiest food, they work out every day, they maybe have a typically really good mindset, and they still get sick. It's because we haven't moved a lot of trauma through and out of our body. And I know in other videos I've talked about all kinds of different modalities that we can utilize in order to move emotions through the body, which is absolutely vital and important. But there's also us talking to our body and our cells in order to allow us to feel it and allow us to know that it is safe to feel it, and allowing us to release it. Then we move on to another amazing medical doctor who is Canadian, and his name is Dr. Gabor Mate. And Dr. Gabor Mate is an amazing doctor that has related a lot of conditions that have gone on in people to medical conditions that they're experiencing, and talks a lot about let's just talk about one thing that he discusses a lot in depth is breast cancer. And he talks a lot about a lot of the experiences he sees with breast cancer in women is that a lot of women will, they go over and aboard. I don't know what I was trying to say here. Come on, Shannon. Overboard with trying to do everything for everyone else. And that's a very normal thing for a lot of women. And they don't sit and feel the emotions that they're feeling because it's like, okay, you know what? Yeah, okay, maybe I'm important, but all of these people, all of these situations, all of these things are far more important than me and caring for my health and taking alone time to, connect with myself and do the things I need to do. I need to work on all of these people and help with whatever is going on in their life. And they are over nurturing and over giving and never giving back to themselves and never taking that time for themselves. And he says that he sees that over and over again with that type of personality trait for breast cancer patients. And when you start to dive deep into that, it's very fascinating, very interesting, because as women, that's what we're really subconsciously taught. Like, it's not even on a conscious level, it's just things that we see. And so we're emanating that as we get older, because that's what we think we have to do. I was definitely that, like the biggest people pleaser out there, because I come from a small town, and everybody within my large family and everybody within the town, that's what a lot of people did. It's like going over, the limits of what their capacity to handle. It's still giving so much energy out with nothing coming back, doing so much for people that sometimes don't, appreciate. Don't give back even energetically. I'm not even talking about money wise or anything, but just even energetically giving back to us. And so I learned that. And I remember being in my early 20s and I was running a huge fitness club. And I remember one of my staff members said that to me. And she was just like, everybody walks all over you and you just allow it. Like, you just give so much and you're just like a doormat. And I was like, what? And I remember that was like a really big light bulb moment for me, because I never actually realized that. And also just like relationships that I had, friendship relationships with a partner, as how much I was giving and not getting back. And it was tearing me down, and it was creating a lot of different health issues within myself. And I never actually took note of that until I really started to dig deep into a lot of these metaphysical doctors that are out there and helping people with, working on the body on a cellular level, and how emotions play a huge part. Personality of, overgiving and energy exchange, because again, we're all energy and frequency, and we need to be vibing with the right tribe, and we need to be, getting a lot of love and positive energy back into our life. And if we're not, then it's only going to be depleting us. And so those prime examples are really important for us to take note, because we are a very intricate, very amazing system that the way we speak to ourselves every day. And again, you guys, this is a really big awareness shift that you might be having right now. How are you speaking to yourself every day? Are you putting yourself down? Are you making yourself feel bad? Are you walking around with low confidence because you're always telling yourself you're not good enough, or you're not pretty enough, or you're not wealthy enough, or you're not deserving enough of having the things that you want, or having the love that you want, or having the career that you want? Because we are in a day and time where social media is really shining back on us of what we're not. And so it's really easy to get caught up in that loop of falsehood of what reality is, and it's not any of that. Reality is what we make it and what we are choosing it to be. And so if you're not liking the reality that you are seeing right now, first of all, take a really good detox of your social media. And two, when you decide to go back on a social media and have a specific time frame for when you're on social media, so you're not just doom scrolling, is to make sure that you set your algorithm to only positive, healthy, positive, wonderful, uplifting things. And you can do that by when you put in a search and you start searching for like healthy nutrition, quantum physics, holistic health, healthy mindset, mind-body connection, anything like that, spiritual awakenings, connecting to God, like whatever it is for you and whatever your deeper meaning in life is, start to connect with that and start to add it into the algorithm. And anytime any of the other crap comes up on your feed, just don't even look at it, because then you can start to have positive things that are in your subconscious mind. And that's what I'm going to talk about next. But first, it is the thoughts you think, the words you speak, because words are exactly like casting out spells out into the universe, okay? It is no joke. Like, words are things. Words are energy. And so when we are speaking these words out, whatever you're saying, you are creating. So stop and think, when you are talking negative about other people, that negativity you're putting out there is actually affecting your physiology. When you are gossiping with other people about this or that, or this person is doing this wrong, or that person's doing that wrong, that is affecting your physiology. Okay? So the more we start to speak love and, talk about the things that are going great in your life, which for a lot of people is a big flipping shift, because people are so used to complaining in this day and age. People are so used to looking at the doomsday things that are going on, which I'm here to tell you that there is millions upon millions, billions of positive things going on too. It's just not out there as much because people are getting an addiction to the negativity. It's feeding them. It's feeding them in a negative way. On a very fast side note, did you know that the more negative you are speaking, that it actually, scientists have proven that it causes your brain to shrink the more negative you are. So the more negative you're thinking, the more negative you're speaking, the more negative your behavior is, the more gossiping you're doing, you are shrinking your brain. We don't want to do that. We want to have a positive life, and we want to have a healthy mind, healthy mindset. We want to have a healthy brain. So we can reverse that. So the next thing is the subconscious mind. And so really quickly here is right before you go to bed, I've said this before, but that is the most critical time for you to rewire the subconscious mind and your subconscious patterning, because when we are going to sleep at night, guys, all the stuff that's going on throughout the day, especially if you're in an environment like a hospital where they're having TVs on and CNN is playing, even if you're talking to other people, that all those news programs and all of that low frequency energy is being absorbed into your subconscious mind. We are absorbing hundreds of billions of bits of information per day in our surrounding areas of what's going on. It's being penetrated into our subconscious mind. So the last 2 hours before you go to bed, what are you listening to? What are you watching? What are you up to? Because that is really going to affect your subconscious mind. And if you're like me and you want to elevate to a new level and you want to raise your frequency here, then you got to cut that crap out. We're going to put some good stuff in. And as of today, that's your new thing. That's your new rule for yourself. You're putting positive things into your mind so that your body can start to heal and repair itself and regenerate the way you want it to regenerate. It's absolutely possible, and it's absolutely critical that we focus on that, so that we just that one thing, you start to focus on yourself and you start to change yourself, you start to feel positive, and you stop letting all of that outside stuff affect you. you're going to know that it's there, you guys. And yes, it's important to be compassionate, but there's so much out there that we have no control over. So you focus on the things that you can control. And what is that? That is you, that is your body, that is your subconscious mind, that is your family, that is your bubble. And so you focus on that, and then you start to get good at that, and you're going to start to see your body start to shift. Your cells are going to start to listen to all the things that you're saying. One of the things that I do too is that I start to live with so much positive energy in my body. So before I go to sleep, I'm always giving myself so much love, so much attention to the parts of my body that maybe have been overstressed. Digestion, our liver, our gallbladder. Maybe you did a really big workout, your muscles. Yeah, I just start giving love to so many different parts of my body so that my body does respond. And I've had different health issues in the past, and you guys can watch other videos where I've talked about all the different health issues I've had, and I was able to heal. I need some water, guys. I need some water. Hold on. And through that, my body has responded and gotten better. And this is absolutely amazing because I can speak firsthand of how... I have a cat. I have a kitten. And she's a feral cat. And she's nuts. Sorry. I can speak firsthand on how your body responds to every word you say, because I have had that happen firsthand. And my other video I've talked about hundreds of times is how I was paralyzed from the neck down for months. And I was able to heal and regenerate my body based on my thoughts, my beliefs, and the holistic things that I was putting into my body, because I had an illness at the time. And so I was able to regenerate myself. And that's just one of many. And so I want you to really, really think deeply on the way you're speaking to your body. Now, the next thing I'm not going to touch so much on this video, I'm going to go into another video on it, but is your skin. And when we are feeling negative, when we're thinking negative, when we're going through a lot of stress, that it is showing on our skin. And that's why I believe that, people might have wrinkles prematurely, might have a lot of dehydration prematurely, because our body is responding to our lifestyle and the things that are going on. And what is stress? Stress is the thoughts that we're thinking on a daily basis that is creating stress. Now, the stress that I have, another person might not be stressed out about all. They might be like, hey, I've been through a lot worse in my life. This is nothing to me. It is all perception based. Somebody else might not be able to handle the stress. Oh, just my cat. Oh my God, she's so wild. Might be able to handle that. So all of this is very important for you to understand that you have so much more control over your life and your health and your body and how you're navigating through life by how are you speaking and thinking about your health. And you can manifest such better health than wherever you currently are at right now. I promise you this. So take note of that. Now, the next and last thing that I want to talk about is blessing and prayers. Now, I don't care where you are at in your life, what your thoughts, it could be universal source, it can be God, it can be spirit, whatever you want to call it, is that there is a higher power. And through my friend, my beautiful friend that I have that has had a near-death experience and many other near-death experiences that I have watched over 25 years, is that one of the things that they've all said is that the power of prayer really has an effect on the other side, and that prayer is heard and prayer is an energy, and that when we pray, it does change the molecular structure of our water and our food. And now more science is actually beginning to show that. So I always love to pray over my water, and I'll give it beautiful intentions. And especially when I first wake up in the morning, go to bed. And that also will change the molecular structure of the water, because it will change depending on thought, depending on beliefs. So where is your water? Is it sitting next to a microwave? Is it sitting next to your cell phone? I hope not. If it has been, get rid of that. We want to make sure, because the cellular structure of water will also start to change depending on where it's at and what it's in. Okay, so I always try to explain to people, try not to have water in plastic, try to have it more in glass, if possible. and keep it away from your cell phone because all that radiation is definitely affecting it. The microwave is affecting it. All of those things are affecting your beautiful water that you want it to nourish you and provide you with the vitamins and minerals and the hydration that your body requires. So that's really important. The same thing goes over your food. Praying over your food will help to change it and affect it in a positive way. So you guys, I hope this video has helped you. Sorry for the disruptions of my cat and me needing water, but that's just kind of how my video rolled out today. And that's okay because I got my point across and that was the most important thing. So if you are liking this video and you want to see more on this type of topic, then please subscribe and I will see you on the next video. And if not, I just really hope that you got something out of this so that you can help to enhance your life in some fashion.